Salem is once again shaken to its core. Families are tested, friendships strained, and secrets torn open. Monday, October 6th, brings us a powerful lineup of moments that could change everything. A young boy demands the truth his father can no longer hide. A woman, torn between her heart and her fears, faces a ghost from her past. Meanwhile, a dangerous alliance forms in the shadows, determined to bring down one of Salem's most ruthless power players. The week ignites with Stephanie Johnson facing the last thing she ever expected, a ghost from her past walking back into her present. Jeremy Horton appears at her doorstep with flowers in hand and that familiar disarming smile, as if time itself could simply erase the heartbreak he left behind. But Stephanie doesn't see charm, she sees warning signs. Every gesture, every word drags her back to the years when Jeremy's reckless choices left her wounded. The man before her claims he's changed, softened by regret, driven by a desire for forgiveness. He speaks of second chances, of rewriting history. Yet behind Stephanie's cautious eyes, the memories remain sharp. This isn't a simple reunion. It's a psychological tug-of-war between longing and fear. On one side lies the whisper of old affection, the memory of what drew her to Jeremy in the first place. On the other, the raw instinct of self-preservation that tells her love, once broken, may never be rebuilt without breaking her again. Can sincerity heal scars that were never allowed to close? Or is Jeremy's return a ticking time bomb, destined to shatter her all over again? Viewers, this isn't just romance. This is a battle between the past and the present, and in Salem, when history repeats itself, it often comes with devastating consequences. While Stephanie grapples with her heart, another Horton is struggling with her own storm. Jennifer Horton Devereaux has never been able to separate her grief from her fierce protective instincts. Watching Kat Green circle closer to Chad DiMera feels, to her, like a desecration of Abigail's memory. It is more than discomfort, it's outrage. Abigail was her daughter, and Chad was her son-in-law. Now, the idea of another woman, especially one with Kat's past, slipping into that sacred space feels intolerable. Jennifer's anger is volcanic, but beneath it lies sorrow. Every glance at Thomas reminds her of what was lost. And every moment Chad spends with Kat feels like betrayal, not just of Abigail, but of family itself. Desperate for clarity, Jennifer turns to Kayla Johnson, a sister and confidant who has weathered storms of her own. Kayla listens, then offers words that slice with honesty. Some things cannot be controlled. Chad's choices are his own, and Jennifer's fight to shield her grandson might only drive a deeper wedge between them. This is Jennifer's torment. Her love makes her fierce, but her grief makes her blind. If she cannot find balance, she risks losing the very family she is desperate to protect. And in Salem, love twisted by grief often leads to dangerous mistakes. The most shattering moment of Monday's episode doesn't belong to Salem's schemers or its seasoned power players, it belongs to a child. Young Thomas DiMera, with innocence colliding against betrayal, finally demands what no one dared to tell him, the truth. For days, whispers have swirled, rumors carried by Rachel Black's unfiltered honesty. Now, Thomas has heard enough to stitch the pieces together. His father's evasions, Kat's presence in their home, the strange tension whenever her name comes up, all of it drives him to confront Chad directly. And Chad can no longer hide behind half-truths. With his son staring him down, desperate for clarity, he admits what he dreads: Rachel was right. He and Kat are more than friends. The confession crushes Thomas. To him, this isn't about romance, it's about betrayal. His father, his anchor, has lied to him once again. That lie shakes the very ground Thomas stands on. But the pain deepens further when Rachel's second revelation bursts forth. Kat once impersonated Abigail, Thomas's late mother. Imagine the devastation of a child realizing the woman smiling at his side once wore his mother's face like a mask. The wound left by Abigail's death is still raw. For Thomas, Kat's deception feels monstrous. His grief erupts into anger. Anger at Kat, anger at Chad, anger at a world that refuses to let his mother's memory rest. This confrontation is not a passing storm, it's a fracture. Chad faces the unbearable role of explaining choices that, to his son, are unforgivable. And as trust crumbles between father and child, one truth becomes painfully clear. In Salem, once innocence is lost, it never returns unscarred. As Chad's household drowns in heartbreak, Kat Green steps into an entirely different battlefield. In the quiet of night, far from curious eyes, she meets with Rafe Hernandez. Their meeting carries the hushed intensity of co-conspirators. This is no casual alliance, this is strategy against one of Salem's most ruthless players. Kat recounts everything she gathered during her unnerving encounter with Gwen von Leuschner. Gwen, sharp as ever, offered pieces of information, fragments that seemed harmless alone, but now, stitched together, they paint a chilling picture. The new hospital wing, touted as progress and charity, looks less like a gift to Salem and more like a weapon. E.J. DiMera's fingerprints are all over it. To Kat and Rafe, the conclusion is inescapable. E.J. is plotting something sinister beneath the facade of medical innovation. But exposing him won't be simple. E.J.'s empire is fortified with power, money, and intimidation. His enemies don't just lose, they disappear, humiliated, ruined, or worse. Still, Kat and Rafe lean closer, whispering their plan. Their determination isn't born from courage alone but necessity. Salem's future may depend on stopping E.J. before his scheme takes root. But they know the risks. Once you cross a DiMera, you paint a target on your back. This alliance could ignite an all-out war. A war not just of boardrooms and contracts, but of lives and legacies. And in Salem, wars against the DiMeras never end clean. They end with betrayals, shattered alliances, and casualties no one sees coming. The question lingers, are Kat and Rafe the hunters in this game, or have they already become E.J.'s prey? What does all this mean for Salem's future? Let's peel back the layers. First, Stephanie and Jeremy's encounter isn't just about romance, it's about the scars of the past colliding with the hope of redemption. If Stephanie opens her heart, she risks repeating history, stepping back into a cycle of pain. But if she slams the door, she leaves questions unanswered, questions that could return with even greater force. Either way, this reunion is a landmine, and one misstep could redefine her future. Second, Jennifer's fury at Kat reveals something deeper than anger. It's about legacy. Jennifer is fighting for Abigail's memory, desperate to shield Thomas from being hurt by Kat's presence. Yet in her mission to protect, she may alienate Chad, creating a rift within her own family. In Salem, fractured families are often the most combustible, and this Horton-DiMera clash could ignite into something much larger. Third, Thomas forcing Chad's confession is the true emotional center of Monday's episode. A child's trust is sacred, and once broken, it doesn't heal easily. This confrontation will ripple outward, touching Chad, Kat, and even the DiMera families standing in Salem. Thomas's heartbreak is a wound that could shape every decision Chad makes moving forward. And finally, Kat's secret alliance with Rafe is perhaps the boldest play of all. Taking on E.J. DiMera isn't just dangerous, it's potentially fatal. If they expose him, the fallout could shatter Salem's balance of power. If they fail, they'll become his latest victims in a long line of crushed enemies. Viewers, Monday's episode isn't just a prelude. It's the spark before the blaze. Salem is on the brink of war, and the coming days may prove that no one, not even children, are safe from the fire. So there you have it, the explosive spoilers for Monday, October 6th. From Stephanie's struggle with her past to Jennifer's desperate fight to protect her family, from Thomas's heartbreaking demand for the truth to Kat and Rafe's daring alliance against E.J., every thread of Salem's canvas is pulled tighter than ever. But remember, this is Days of Our Lives. In Salem, secrets never stay buried. Lies never stay hidden. And every confession, no matter how small, has the power to unravel entire families. Monday's episode is not the end of a story. It's the opening chapter of something much bigger, something darker, something that will echo across the town for weeks to come. So, fans, what do you think? Can Chad ever repair the damage with his son? Will Kat and Rafe outsmart EJ, or will they become his next victims? Share your theories below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Days of Our Lives updates.